Thousands of South Sudanese gathered to welcome Pope Francis in his apostolic journey to South Sudan. Few hours before the Pope landed into the country, we spoke to some of the youth and civil society leaders on the Holy Father's visit to the country.
In the first place, I would like to say, as South Sudanese, I am very excited about the coming of the Pope. One is because, number one, we are at the beginning of 2023, and as a South Sudanese who is yearning for peace, I am hopeful that this is an opportunity for me to recommit myself to working towards peace. But also as an institution, first of all, I would like to acknowledge the contributions of CAS, Konrad Adenauer Stiftung, in South Sudan through its scholarship program, which is aiming at building the capacity of young people to be able to have the values of democracy and good governance, and to be able to live life of responsible citizenship. So this has helped us to actively work towards attaining peace in this nation. Now, connecting it with the coming of the Pope, we see as an institution that this is very significant because it shows the commitment of the Pope in the fight for peace in South Sudan. We as South Sudanese, we have been longing for his coming here, and I believe that we are psychologically, spiritually, and physically prepared. As we can see in the town, a lot of people making their preparations in whatever way to receive him. So for South Sudanese, I see that this is an opportunity for us to recommit ourselves as individuals, but also for the civil society to be keen in following what recommendations the Pope is giving, and to be able to assist the government and the different stakeholders to be able to join those dots that are missing to bring lasting peace in this nation. So I look at it very positively for the people of South Sudan.
We feel his coming will bring for us hope as citizens, because citizens have suffered, and I feel a person like this team of leaders of the churches will bring hope for us. We wish that it will change our hearts and minds on how we should be in society. But the most important thing for me, I feel, is the leadership itself should make the visit of the Pope a sign of change in our society, in our lives, in our leadership, because it's coming at the time when soon they will be implementing the roadmap that they signed themselves as the parties to the agreement. Is not the roadmap that they say it was forced to them, but this is a roadmap that they signed, they designed by themselves. So we feel, we urge them that after the visit of the Pope, we want to see change in everything and seeing a peaceful South Sudan moving forward.
This is a historical ecumenical visit, first of its kind that the Republic of South Sudan is receiving the three most prominent, Christian leaders, led by Pope Francis. To us as youth and South Sudan, we are really happy that we are hosting, such rare calibers in the Christian, family. It means that the quest for peaceful coexistence and the stability of peace in the Republic of South Sudan has been recognized globally, most especially by the Christian family in the entire world. They have really realized that the people of South Sudan have suffered enough, and the people of South Sudan need to move into a new chapter of peace. Since the government was formed, we have seen some relative peace. However, also there are some setbacks that we have also witnessed from our political leaders. One of it has been the issue to do with the lack of political will. And I think the coming of the Pope should actually be the medicine to this lack of political will. It should put an end. We should start seeing, a political will from our leaders in the implementation of the R-Access and also the new roadmap.
Speaking besides President Salva Kiir, Pope Francis says it's time for no more violence and no more bloodshed in the country, asking the leaders to leave war behind and let peace dawn.
In the name of God, of the God to whom we prayed together in Rome, of the God who is gentle and humble in heart, the God in whom so many people of this beloved country believe now. It's time to say no more of this without ifs or buts. No more bloodshed, no more conflicts, no more violence, mutual recrimination about who is responsible for it. No more leaving your people at rest for peace. No more destruction. It is time to build. Leave the time of war behind and let a time of peace dawn.
Young people also had the expectations on what will be left behind after the Pope's visit to the country.
Everyone is going to dedicate their time to really sit and to listen from the messages from the Pope and his team on the onset, but also as he's landing, I see that he's leaving bigger challenges because we have seen his commitment to coming up to the ground for the sake of peace. So we are going to be left with the challenge of implementing whatever that is in the agreement that is really intended to bring in peace. I see this as an opportunity where the government, where the civil society organizations, where the international organizations that are supporting the peace efforts in South Sudan, where the citizens of South Sudan, the South Sudanese themselves, are going to be left with the challenge of really practically working towards achieving peace, because the Pope himself has given us the example of humility by coming on ground.
Well, to me, what I expect after the Pope goes, that we have received his blessings, we have received his words of encouragement, but what we expect most is to see the government acting in a very different way, because we all know we are implementing the peace agreement, but after the Pope goes, we want to see a joint press statement, the president and the vice presidents telling us their plan, and also the roadmap.
Pope's visit to the country has come at a time when the country is ending the transitional period and it's starting to implement the new roadmap that the parties signatories to the peace agreement signed last year. The roadmap, if implemented, will lead the country into elections. For many South Sudanese, Pope's visit means a lot to the country in the search for everlasting peace.